Greetings to you. Let us explore the meaning behind the lyrics of Yarilo by Arkona. In general, the song is a stylized praise to Yarilo, either a deity or a minor supernatural entity from the Slavic mythology. Let us begin. The song starts with naming important indicators of a specific season, namely the spring. Lelia's week indicates the time of spring rites associated with the feminine, fertility and new life. Lelia is the name of a supposed deity of youth and love. I say supposed because there is a big controversy within the community of the researchers of Slavic mythology. Between the 15th and the 17th century, some scholars of Slavic paganism have been making various claims about the existence of certain gods in the Slavic pantheon. Many of these claims were unsubstantiated and attempted to make the Slavic mythology look more like its Roman counterpart. Many were blown out of proportion, describing some loosely defined rituals as highly regulated affairs with elaborate theology. This so-called quote-unquote cabinet mythology then permeated the collective consciousness and transformed into the modern neo-paganism. Lelia is one among these supposed deities, the existence of which is contested. She might have been a sort of spirit, but she might as well have not existed at all. In any way, nowadays her image is associated with spring. The same partially applies to the rites of Rosalia or the festival of honoring the dead. Depending on the particular Slavic people, the Rosalia might have been observed throughout the year, especially in the winter or spring. By the end of the verse, Yarilo, the eponymous protagonist of the song, is mentioned. Let us listen to the chorus to learn more about who he is. Yarilo is also one of those controversial deities, albeit more substantiated by ethnographic sources. He is associated with the sun, fertility, virility, passion, spring, time and the cycle of life and death. In modern neo-paganism, he is often labeled as just the sun god, but historically his role was more diverse. Yarilo was the name of an idol or a doll that has been used in spring fertility rites. During the rituals, he was paraded through the village and then possibly buried. It was believed that Yarilo brings agricultural abundance and the birth of new life wherever he goes, and that each year he dies and rises again. This cycle of appearance and disappearance was also associated with the sun. Cvetin is the Slavic pre-Christian name for the month of April. As is the case with most pagan things, it is heavily tied to agriculture. Literally, it means the blooming one, as in the spring plants start to grow and bloom. As mentioned before, the rites of Yarilo were heavily associated with the spring and phenomena occurring during the season. This verse elaborates on the solar aspect of the god. Because of the cyclic nature of the sun, it has been associated with the passage of time itself. Naturally, Yarilo, being related to the cycle of time as well, takes up some of the solar features. It is he who rides or rolls upon the skies each day. The 7 hills mentioned here is the poetic name of Moscow, another somewhat dividing topic. The image of Moscow being settled on 7 hills is an attempt to imitate Rome and its 7 hills. It comes from the 16th century, when the Russian aristocracy promulgated the idea that Moscow is the third Rome, the first 2 being the Rome of the Roman Empire and the second being Constantinople. The specific hills that are included in the 7 have been changing throughout history, but the modern canon is more or less settled. Anyway, whichever those hills are, there are speculations that many of them have been the sites of ancient pagan altars. While the claim is bold, one can see how this image fits the song about a pagan deity. And now a verse dedicated to the timekeeping nature of Yarilo. Much like the god dies and is reborn each year, the sun sets and rises each day. The cyclical nature of the process is amplified by the last line, in which Yarilo the sun is implored to go and return again. That's all for the meaning behind the lyrics of Yarilo by Arkona. All the links to the band are in the description. Thanks for watching.